Hey guys, Kiki Peace here, and I'm back finally with another live stream. I'm finally back, and I'll be able to read another chapter of Wolves of the Beyond, Lone Wolf. This is a live stream, so you guys will be able to come and look at this. I'm just gonna fix this so I can see any comments that you guys have to say, like I always do if anyone joins. Might take me a minute. I'm sorry that it's really not the best quality. I know it's not, but alright, I think that's good enough. And I'm sorry that this is a little laggy. I can try to fix that. I don't know how well it'll work, though. That might help. Well, it's still laggy for you guys, but at least it's a little bit clearer now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get right into this. And sorry for any distractions or anything, or sorry if I stop reading. I'm not the best reader for anyone that is new to this, or this is the first video they see by me. I'm not the best reader. I'm decent. I've gotten better, but yeah. So, from the river. On the stormy night, there was a sound that rose louder than the roar of the river and the howling of the wind. The anguished cries of the mother grizzly shook the banks on which she sat. Her great gulping grief seemed to suck the air from the earth. The long guard hairs on her back were sheathed in ice and trembled, creating a bristling litter of small sounds beneath the rage of her grief. When the river had threatened to flood her den, she had turned her back for a few seconds to scan for higher ground. In those seconds, erupted out of nowhere and made off with her single cub. She had only grown one. She had only grown one this time. All summer and fall she had eaten, fattened herself up, and for what? To have what would most likely be her last born killed. Now, with her teeth still dripping from the milk meant for her cub, she was ready to die. She welcomed the river that she had hoped to escape, not since the mating time 5 summers before, when Emil Grizzly had killed one of her cubs to get near her, had she grieved like this. She would not move from her den where she had birthed and suckled the cub. She tipped her massive head toward the moon that watched her like a dead eye, and pleaded with great ears, "Take me, take me." The grizzly had lost all sense of time, but the night became darker as the moon slipped down in the western sky. Near dawn, the storm had blown out, leaving dark clouds on the horizon like smoldering ashes. The river flood had reached its peak, but still had not taken the grizzly. A dark, sodden clot snagged on her half-submerged hind leg. She shook her foot at the annoying scratching sensation, but when she looked, the clot clung tighter, made her irritable. She had dragged her paw up into the bank. She would later wonder what it was that stopped her from reaching forward and simply scraping off the clot. It betrayed no sign of life. The scratching could have been the prickly thorns of the bramble. that had become entangled with the flotsam of the racing currents, river trash. All, and yet she felt something. She would think of it as a spark. She had seen sparks come from the sky. The sparks stuck from the rock when tumbling boulders collided. Never imagine a spark coming from the river, unquenched, undamaged, undiminished, flying upwards from the watery turbulence and containing in its minuscule sphere of light, the promise of light. So she reached forward and carefully picked up the sodden clump with both of her front paws. It didn't squirm. She couldn't see signs of breathing. But it was a cub of some sort, and when it opened its eyes with what seemed great pain, she saw the spark. Pausing for just a moment so I can check something. Sorry, guys. Okay. It was something on my phone, I'm sorry. Okay. As the sun lifted over the horizon, she saw its light reflected in the cub's two eyes, and then she saw an image that shocked her. It was her own reflection in the eyes of an animal that was not born of her, nor of her kind. It was a wolf, she thought. I seek death, and it seeks life. My phone keeps going off. I'm really sorry. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but most likely you can. Okay, how long is this? All right. And then she looked up at the sky, searching for the Great Bear constellation. She could not see it, for dawn was breaking. But deep down she knew that this wolf was a message from Eurus, a scolding. She must not think of death. Her time had not come yet. It wasn't an accident that the pathetic pup had fetched upon her leg. It was a gift from the river. Folan, she whispered. I shall call you Folan. Fowl meant both river and wolf, and land was the word for gift. River wolf gift, for anyone who didn't understand. I'm pretty sure. You were my gift from the river. And she gathered the milk giver. The pup smelled the milky traces in the thick fur and nuzzled towards the source. But the closer he got, the more confused he became. It did not seem the same. The smell was different, and the taste as well. And there was a new, frightening sound. The thunderous roar of the river was replaced by a great rhythmic booming, and threaded through the mighty reverberations were gusty, bubbling sounds. As the grizzly gently pressed Folan closer to Retief, the sound actually shook him, yet he felt safe. It was a different milk giver, a huge one, many times bigger than the first, and he was hearing the pumping of her heart and the turbulence in her stomach. Gradually he became used to the sounds. They blended into rushing of the river, folded into the quieter noises of his own suckling. He sucked. His world became one of milk, the thick, rich milk. He shut his eyes and slept, still sucking. The grizzly looked down on Folan, and huge tears rolled from the corner of her eyes. The river spirit brought you to me. I shall nurse you through this morning into the day, and through the night. A spark can become a flame of fire. She blew her warm, gentle breath onto him. The pup's eyes fluttered, then he sank deeper into dreamless sleep. And that's the end of that chapter. So that's all I'm going to do for this live stream. We'll continue this on another day. Maybe later, I don't know. But yeah. So also let me know if you want me to continue reading. Most likely I'm at least going to finish the book. Unless if a lot of you guys don't want to hear it anymore, then obviously I can stop. But yeah. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And goodbye, guys. I hope you enjoyed.